Well, there's an old African saying, if you want to run fast, you run alone. But if you want to run long, you have to do it together. And sustainable business operations means that the communities involved and the stakeholders involved have also got to gain from the operations. And making that as an intrinsic part of the business operations is critical for that sustainability of the business. So not only mapping your own business, but mapping the entire stakeholder community, their needs, and how the business can impact and benefit them, and making sure that there is a community of stakeholders involved in the decision-making process is critical to ensuring that. In addition to the business, we also looked at what was happening in the community in terms of health, in terms of also in terms of what was happening with the truckers in those times, and try to make sure that the community was fully involved in the benefits that came from it. And most importantly was to set up an enterprise center which develop local skills so that people could be gainfully employed, both within Cairns but also within their subcontractors, but also could set up viable businesses. And I'm very happy to see that even though we exited after 3 years because we're a development institution, that Cairns has taken this to a much higher level now. And I think that's been a tremendous example of common stakeholder involvement and common stakeholder gain. And now there's a measurement process that's also important to put into place when you do this. There is always a feeling with the community that a private company is making gains out of what is a public good, which is the extraction that's taking place, whether it's oil and gas or it's minerals, and the public feels that it's their resource that should be also giving a return to them. So that perception part is absolutely critical, and plus there's an opportunity of helping communities through your own business operations, through the mandatory levies, and this is again something specific to the extractive industries, royalties, etc. And thirdly, of course, your own voluntary actions, and combining all three, and that makes it different from other industries. Well, IFC follows, as you know, international practices. We have our own environment and social practices. So all companies, whether they're in India or anywhere else in the world, follow the same global environment and social practices. And we were very happy that the ENS practices that we introduced to CAN are fully not only being imbibed but are being followed now. So I think in that, I think it's international. I think there is a bigger play in India in terms of the perceptions, and I think I think we have to work much more strongly in changing the perceptions of the people towards extractive industries. HSE practices as a public good, and we heard it in the earlier sessions too, that there is always a copycat syndrome, and that's the way it should be. It is a public good. It is for the benefit of the workers and the community. So sharing such knowledge and practices, I think it's very important. So I compliment the organizers and Cairns for putting it together, and I found it very interesting myself.